Good evening, everyone. Okay, that was a tepid-ass response.
Yeah.
We're going to try this again. Good evening.
There we go. They're awake.
Good. Thank you for coming to Devils, Tieflings, and Feelings, a BG3 retrospective. We are going to talk very minor spoilers, but we are actually going to look at the game overall, and we're going to talk about things that happen in the game, but everyone's playthrough is so different. Hopefully nothing major will be spoiled, and we'll keep that in mind, because I know I have some friends in the room that have not fully finished the game, so we're going to keep that in mind as well. So I'm not going to read this to you. This is not a boardroom at work. You all can read. Also, I can't see the big screen, so I can't read it either. But just hopefully you're in the right place. Has everyone finished reading the slide? All right.
Yep, they're good. Judgy Susie.
I don't know if Mandy's still here, but that's my friend's dog that often is looking at her like this when she works. And she turns around and sees the dog and sends the friend group photos. So this is now my you better have a question when you come to the mic. You all laugh. Everyone laughs when I say this. It's all fun and games until I tell you find a question. But to be serious, we are going to talk about, Baldur's Gate 3. A lot of people have opinions. We're on the panel, you're not. Do not scream your opinion out from the audience. I will point you out and embarrass you. I'm
legally allowed to be in character, aren't I?
Yes.
Yeah, so just watch out. Yeah. Thank you. And yes, Tavern Brawler is my speciality. There's a lot of chairs in this room.
Yep. Oh, and now there's the new giant subclass.
Yes, there is.
But, to be serious, when we do get to Q&A, hopefully you should have time for it, have a question. I know it can be intimidating to stand up in a room full of people, but while we're talking, write down your question. If you have a phone, if you have paper, if you have signals, something, be ready to have a relevant question, especially if we get a large Q&A queue. I would like to get through everyone, because there's no guarantee any of us will stick around after the panel. We would like to probably go and have dinner and do other things as well, because it's been a long 2 days already. And also, Susie will judge you, and so will I. All right, our panelists. So I'm going to start at the end, so it winds up back at me. So who are you, and how many hours have you put into Baldur's Gate 3?
Okay, so it's increased since I last gave you my numbers by 100 hours, so over 700 hours of Baldur's Gate 3 at this point. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Also, but who are you?
Who are you?
Oh, who am I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Lou. I'm sometimes known as HeroByClicking online. I've been in this space for over 10 years, helping creators, communities, gamers connect with charities and nonprofits across the world to raise tens of millions of dollars. And I'm here with my friends with Doctors Without Borders, doing much the same. So I love the space. Thought I was going to be a content creator, but I ended up finding a passion to helping other people do cool things.
Hi, I'm Ellie-San Kirkner. I am a narrative designer, and I've been making games for 15 years. This is my very first PAX East, and I've put in somewhere at least at the minimum of 130 hours, but I do know there was a certain amount of time where I've played on other accounts. So when I started my run, I had already maybe put about 40 hours in.
Hi, I'm TaruHunter. By day, I'm a sign language interpreter. By night, I'm a jouster. Somehow, I got invited to hang out here with these cool people. I've got about 350 hours in Baldur's Gate 3, and I just love video games and everything that goes along with it.
Hi, my name is Bria Lavornia, and I feel extremely uncool sitting between the two of them now all of a sudden. I'm a writer, I'm a cosplayer, and I, according to my PlayStation app, have 474 hours in Baldur's Gate.
Hello, welcome. I'm Samantha Beart. I'm an actor. I was in, you probably know me from a small dating sim that's called Baldur's Gate 3. I heard it did quite well. 260 hours in mocap. That's what I did. We're not calling me a voice actor. I did 260 hours in mocap for this. It's all of us, our breath, our body. It's a whole physical and vocal performance. It's pretty amazing. And if you're wondering why I haven't worked since it's come out, that's not true. I'm under 8 NDAs right now. I wish I could tell you. Up the fucking workers. I love them, but let's get this signed. Yeah, so they'll just watch this space. I'm on Blue Sky and Twitter, and I will be screaming to the rafters when I'm allowed to talk about what I'm doing.
There's also Hobbs Barrow.
Also the excavation of Hobbs Barrow, for which I was longlisted for a BAFTA. And that may be the pushy bastard that I am today. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm your moderator, Tanya, also known as Cypheroftyr, game dev, both in tabletop and video games, internet ne'er-do-well, and depending on who you ask, I'm a horrible person, and I'm trying to ruin video games with DEI and wokeness. So on Steam, I have 896 hours of Baldur's Gate 3, and on PlayStation, about 200. I know life this game like nobody's business. But we're going to talk a little bit about our tabs and kind of our first journey through Baldur's Gate. And I know that you're not a tab, you are Karlach, but...
I can be a tab.
I know, but for the purpose of
yeah, I probably should put that hat on, shouldn't I?
I mean, if you want, you can talk about
No, I'm not talking about Karlach. We're not...
All right, well, panel's over.
We're totally talking about Karlach, but don't worry, the doors are locked, you're not going anywhere, just so you know.
You cannot leave until 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
That's right.
So, actually, do you want to go first, Sam, or does anyone else want to go first?
In terms of...
No, well, I guess for you, because you did play the game, you were streaming it for a little bit, but you were playing as Karlach.
I was, in a very vain way, I decided. So I'm a video gamer first, and essentially I'm a barbarian, right? Because I play Legend of Zelda. He hits pots, he gets the things. Assassin's Creed, similar. So I thought, let's just play it as Karlach, we'll tell a few stories. It's on YouTube. And then we got to inventory management, and I went, no, this is not entertaining at all. I'm not good at... I don't normally play CRPGs. I certainly didn't stream before all this happened. So it's a limited release of about 15 hours, admittedly. But I did start a Dark Urge run with a obviously female drow bard. Ooh. Because how do we want the world to end but in song? Hoping to romance Minthara, obviously. Ooh. Obviously. Yeah. Which you can do as Karlach, you just have to play as Karlach. She won't leave her own game. She really won't. People are like, oh, I want to play her evil, but like, you can play her evil. We recorded the lines. It's all good.
Nice. So whoever wants to go next, just kind of because I asked specifically for people's first tabs, because some of us have put in many, many hours.
Yes.
So with your first tab, kind of what was your first introduction to Faerun, and how did you play them, just quickly? And then we'll get into our overall feelings about the game. Whoever wants to.
Hear the question.
Oh.
First tab, how did you play them?
So my first tab, and if any theater kids in the room know the Bolin and the hair reference, you're my favorites.
Gasps from the audience.
My first tab run was extremely cursed, and I never finished it because I got bugged out in Worm's Rock, and in order to fix the game, I'd have to go back like 4 boss fights, including the House of Hope, and I wasn't gonna do that. So my poor bard has never seen the end of the game. I also messed up like all the romances, so we just went for it in Act 3. It was not a good time. So my second tab had a much happier life and did not cry her way through the goblin camp.
My first run, kind of a self-insert situation. I played a wood half-elf druid, and I finished the game probably right at the end of August, so it was before any of the patches came out. I just plowed my way through it because I needed to get back to work, and I was like, I'm gonna finish this game. And I had an incredible time. I was a total slut. I slept with almost everybody I could. Finally landed on romance in Karlach, so you know, it was super cute. We got to go to dinner. It was wonderful, and that was my first run through.
So, yeah, my first Tav was also kind of self-insert, so her name was Tavish because I don't have a sense of humor, and they were a bard because that is kind of sort of my thing by day. And it was really fun. Cypher had just convinced me to try modding, so it was a very interesting romp because there were a lot of times I thought I would never get my game back. I did a lot of things wrong, including really ignoring Shadowheart for a long time because she asked for privacy, and so I wanted to respect that, which meant there were a lot of things in Act 3 that were really surprising. I really surprised myself and ended up falling for a dorky little wizard boy. And yeah, Tavish, that wacky little rocker bard, they're just like living their best life as like a water dabbing rocker. So
I love that. I don't know if I'm alone here, but have you ever had that cool D&D character that you played in a campaign with friends, and you constantly try to recreate, you chase that dragon, so to speak?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that is Lucian Netherfiend for me, and my son's name is Lucian because I love the name, and I've always wanted the character. And bards kind of break the game. I don't know if anybody else had that experience because you are so goopy. You would charm anybody, and I did, and that's what I loved about my Tav. I fell for Lazelle because she told me I had to. And even if I play it again, whenever I play other, I feel like I have to still, yes, Lazelle, of course. I will wait for you, of course. So yeah, absolutely charmed with the way through the game, and I feel like missed and also like was engrossed with the game because you bypass some stuff that you get through the gate, you do the thing, and charm is just the best way. Bards for the win.
bards for the win.
Bards for the win.
So I was the weirdo that did Dark Urge first.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Also, full disclosure, I did get to go to a preview event in Belgium, so I got to see Dark Urge before anyone else did, well, anyone that wasn't at the event. And they were very giddy for me to play the Dark Urge, and then I learned what happened to Gale when you play Dark Urge. And because I am evil, I literally have it tattooed on me in another language. I decided to make that my first run and my first stream run. And like Taru, Invictus was hoeing around Faerun. They slept with literally everyone except Mazora.
Yeah, same.
And I only messed up Mazora, what? I thought I heard someone yell from the audience, don't do that. And I messed up Mazora because I didn't realize that you only get one shot, and so I messed that up. So yeah, Invictus was the hoe of Faerun, at least in my first run.
I actually got Mizora. That was one of the few things I successfully did.
Oh.
Because I wanted Shadowheart, but I went with the rules of I talked to my favorite last, and that was apparently an error.
Yeah, we can all hear you in camp. We can hear you. It's quite an open space. We can hear and see everything that you're doing.
Well, there was no one else to talk to, which is why the Halcyon thing happened, and then I was like, let's go!
Oh, we have plenty to talk about with Halson later. All right, so now we've introduced kind of our tabs and our silliness and our play styles. Let's just have general overall feelings. If there's anything on the slide that you want to address, because the third bullet point I want to kind of dig into a little bit when we get to it. But I'm not calling on you all. We're not in school. Who wants to go first?
Oh, I laughed loudest, so I guess I go first.
Yeah, you volunteered.
See?
No, like, I think that I still play the game, and I find things about it. I play it with friends, and my friends will do something obnoxious, and then you're like, I didn't know you could do that. And I think that thread of the intricacy of those moments is what continually sells me on going back to the game. I think, what if I go here before this, and I do the thing before the thing, and then that's another like 50 hours into the game, and I'm still like engrossed and rewarded by the game. And I don't know if I've had an experience with a game like that since or before. That's kind of the involvement and what I found worked for me.
I have to yes and on that so hard because I think there's something like really valuable where games often say like choices matter.
Right.
I don't think there's a game that wholeheartedly embraces that more than Baldur's Gate 3 because, you know, like the breadth and the depth of the experience, you're, like you said, always finding new things. And, you know, like everyone can really play this game, whether you're an RPer or you're all about the min-max game or you were here because you were a dating sim aficionado. If you need to smooch everybody, you can. Like, this game is for you. And there are very few games that really embrace that idea that every path is the right path if it's yours.
Yeah.
So it's so good.
Yeah, tying into that, like I was playing simultaneously with a friend, and we got about 2 hours into the game, and we were playing two completely different games by that point. And it was only 2 hours in. And I've never had that experience where you can explore a game in whatever way you want. You can be the little chaos goblin. You can be the most serious character, and you're still gonna have a wonderful experience. The game is designed to allow you that freedom, and that's, as a player, that's something that you don't experience in video games a lot. You're given a path. You can pick the good path or the bad path. Sometimes there's a middle path, but this is an unending number of paths almost. And you can experience the game over and over again, and it'll be new. Like, I've started so many different runs, and I'll get through Act 1, and I'll be like, you know what? What if I tried it this way? And then I'll start another run. So I've only actually finished the game twice, but I have like 14 characters because I keep wanting to try different things, or I'll be feeling a certain way, and I'll want to experience the game in that way, and this game allows you to do that in a way that no other game has ever done.
So I admittedly had a little bit of a hard time when I first played the game. It was partially because I had just played a different game before it that I really wanted to keep playing but couldn't for reasons. So I actually almost bounced off of it, and I'm really glad that like I had trouble sort of figuring how like the combat was working, even though I knew D&D, and just figuring out controllers because I was playing on a PlayStation. But I'm glad I stuck with it, especially once I later realized that you can just leave the goblin camp and not fight through it at level 3.
That's what I did. I was like, fuck these racists.
Right?
I was playing as Karlach and everyone was coming for me. And I was like, do you know what? Fuck you guys. You know?
I didn't know I could leave.
I'm going to go meet Scratch. That's what I'm going to do. Fuck you guys.
But like once I sort of like fell into it, I was like, I experienced what everyone else did, which was like how much you can do with the game. And I have the same problem that I do with a lot of other RPGs where I want to take the different paths, but I keep making the same choices because I don't want to disappoint certain people in the game.
Yep.
And like, I tried real hard to do the dark path at the beginning, and I really love Karlach and Will so much, and I don't want to disappoint them. So I haven't been able to commit to it, but like, I think it's really cool that other people have been able to find that path and to continue on it, and maybe one day I'll make myself disappoint both of them.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Can I dig into that?
Of course.
Bullet point. Just, yeah, as an outsider who played D&D before getting the role, fuck around, find out, right? They did that really well, I feel. Actions have consequences, we like that. And something that Dungeons & Dragons have been trying to do is make the game more inclusive, and I felt that the game achieved that big time, particularly in the sexuality of the characters, the fact that pansexual seems to be default, unless otherwise stated. It's just an incredible gift as a performer to play, let alone to play it. And all the things you've been saying, I've been told people clock in how many hours they've done, how they've betrayed me, how they loved me. I'm like, good, that's your game, that's cool. Don't worry about it. No judgment here. It's just an incredible thing to be part of. Because you sign on to these things, you don't know what you're doing. You know, you get NDAs, and as you go through it, you're going, oh, this could be a thing of a generation, or something. You know, so that, well done us, you know. But well done the writers and the devs. And the fact that I guess the chuds that make a lot of money from clicks didn't notice us till we were successful because we weren't broke, so we weren't woke. That's physics. That's how it is now. So that was nice to learn.
What worked for me, because I'm a big narrative nerd, and I'm a huge Dragon Age, Mass Effect fan, and so because those games have taken way more hours than even Baldur's Gate. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With 20 years of Dragon Age, I just have lost many years of my life. What worked for me is the deep narrative there and the ways in which you can make so many different decisions and how those decisions
can affect things later. I'm going to tell on Tracy Wiles. I don't know if she'll ever see this, who is Jaheira. I have never seen anyone let the Rite of Thorns complete until I saw her stream this game. And I have no idea how it happened. But still, with almost 900 hours in, I'm still seeing new things. I just thought it was more hilarious that it came from Tracy than anywhere else. There were a few things that didn't work for me, like I tried to throw holy water on Astarion and it didn't work.
We talked about this last night, though.
Yes.
How many times?
15.
There we go.
I love that you had that hope that maybe one time it's going to work.
I stood in the Act 3 camp in the inn, and I just was like, I have 15, I'm going to keep trying, and nothing happened, and I was like, this is broken. He's a vampire. I should have a reaction.
Get the steak.
So, funny story.
Do it.
Well, steak does work, I found out, because someone in the audience that I will not name and point out was like, I want to see what happens at the point at which Astarion tries to bite you in camp. Yeah, well, about that. Wooden steaks are very super effective on Astarion. Astarion isn't real. He's a bunch of pixels.
It's just a
He
game.
doesn't know that you killed him.
He doesn't care.
But the other vampires might hear you, okay?
Look, I do want to have a run where I let the other vampires take him and see what happens. My first run was a dirge. What did you expect?
Fair.
But the last bullet point, for me, it worked because there are roles constantly happening in the background, your passive perception, all those things that, take forever at the table, but also it made me feel like I was at the table. Whether I was playing as an origin character, whether I was playing as a dirge or as a different Tav, I felt like there is a consequence, and a bad roll's a really bad roll. You see a 1, it comes up in red. It's just like this sad noise. The one that plays in everyone's head when you get a nat 1, you're like, oh, well, shit.
My very first roll in Baldur's Gate was a nat 1, and really that should have been the sign that my first tab was cursed.
Does anyone else have thoughts on the third bullet point before we talk about emotions?
So the D&D aspect, I have loved D&D ever since I was tiny, and the community that is present in D&D and the passion that people have for D&D, I felt like was really embraced by this game. And it allows people to, when you have a multiplayer game, it feels like you're at a table with other people playing D&D. And after the pandemic, all of my D&D groups disappeared into the ether, and so this was finally an experience where we didn't rely on a DM having to be available to run a game for us. And it brought back a lot of those feelings of my love for D&D and everything that related to that in a way that made it a lot more accessible to newer players. So I really loved it for that.
Yeah, I like to echo that. Did it deliver a good facsimile? It definitely can. And if your tables are anything like Baldur's Gate 3, then good on you, because that's some hell of a lot of great storytelling. And same, I did a multiplayer game with my group of friends who I've been playing D&D with for decades. I'm old. It's okay. But the rule was always oh, you're a barbarian. You have to select the barbarian, answer, and then everybody just rolls with it. You're like, okay, you totally just pissed everyone off. Now we have to fight all our way through the town. Whatever it is, right? And it created a level of engagement and camaraderie that you're right. Yeah, we got that same experience at the table. Now, the multiplayer doesn't always work the way you want it to work. And, what didn't work for me mostly was kind of just video game tech. Sometimes, I meant to throw a barrel and not, equip a sword or whatever, that sort of thing. That sort of thing was just, whatever. That's a game. It's a video game, right? But, yeah, the experience of being with friends is very helpful. So if you haven't played it with friends, find friends who have it, and just do a run. We're starting a second run with friends recently, and it's been a lot of fun.
I think what I missed most from actual D&D was that I could not negotiate with the DM about messing, like...
I believe that's called save scumming.
No, well, not that, but like...
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Dice rolls, yes, but like, you know, using spells in ways that they're not necessarily meant to be used, or like, you know, tweaking sort of mechanics. Like, so that's something I missed, because I'm kind of known for going to my DM and being like, hi.
Maybe you've just got a really stick in the mud DM who's not going to change.
Well, in the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So I think that's like the one thing I really missed. And then I know I had a little bit of a hard time adjusting, because I play a bard in one of my D&D games, and so playing it in a video game setting where things are, like I said, are a little more rigid was something I had to adjust to and sort of remind myself that I'm not just hitting things, because that is my default in video games.
Same.
It's fun. But otherwise, like, I think it's, like everyone said, it's done a really, really good job of as good as it can in a video game setting.
So I'm going to, like, very cautiously, as I think the last person weighing in on this, caveat this with making games is very, 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 very hard. Does it emulate D&D? I think that's a really complicated question, because, like you said, every table is different. I have never met two people from two different tables who had the same experience. And granted, things like actual plays have made that a little bit different over the past, 10 years. Like, if you were playing 15, 20 years ago, it was different. You just did your best, and that was pretty damn good. But I would argue that actually, like, I think the biggest challenge that they really addressed very well, which is, like, D&D has such clear-cut objective truths, because you have a player's handbook, and you have a dungeon master's guide, and you have all of these books that say exactly what everything does and all of the legalese of that. And they had to negotiate how to tell good stories, saying, like, okay, what if these mind players maybe weren't bad? Or if one of you does choose to take a path with a tadpole, what does that mean for their soul? There are all of these things that are more interesting if we don't know the absolute truth of it, and I think that was a really good choice, because I'm more interested in the questions it opens up rather than the, well, in 4E, like, this was true, and now in 5E, it's a little bit different. Like, that's not a fun conversation. It's more interesting to say, you know what, like, when she said that she's happy, even though, like, things are really different now, and, maybe some dietary changes have been made, I want to believe that. I'm so sorry. Same.
All right.
Also, I know DMs, it's so hard to not have one, but counterpoint, barrelmancy.
Yeah.
All right, so now feelings. So I chose the screenshot on purpose.
Yeah.
So very quickly, the reason I got to know Sam is after I finished Karlach's personal quest, I broke down in tears on stream because it hit me in such a hard way. And that is writing, and that is Sam's performance. So I picked that on purpose because there's also everyone, I'm just gonna say it, everyone in that game is fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's some personal something that's going on, there's parental issues, there's all this other stuff. I'm like, what is the Faerun equivalent of therapy? Because all of you need it.
It's violence. Violence is what we do in Faerun.
So, quickly in the interest of time, because we're already at a half hour and there's other stuff to talk about, but, for all of you, what was the one big emotional arc in the game that just kind of hit you right in the heart box? Yep.
You want me to say?
No. I'm literally pointing at you because you're Karlach. That's why.
Oh,
Because, like, I'm not,
do you want to talk?
No, I guess I am. But genuinely, it's because, like, Karlach's story gets me every single time, and that's why one of my current runs right now is, like, a Karlach, where I'm playing as Karlach, because I really like her and Will together in, like, either a friendship capacity or a romantic capacity, and I just want them both to be happy. And every time Karlach has that breakdown where, like, every time she has, like, a breakdown where she's, like, upset about things reasonably, and I'm like, I just want things to be okay for you, and I hate that I can't fix them, and I'm sad. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I think that it was hard to separate like the romance arc from like the biggest moment, because for me it was Lae'zel. Lae'zel's world totally changes if you help it change, and there's just a moment at the end of the game. I don't want to spoil it, but it's the moment that was important to me, and I was like, I love you, Lae'zel. Like, Lou loves you, Lae'zel. And then you have to go like, oh no, but maybe. No, well, never. And that's so powerful. I have to say there was one moment that like hurt my feelings a little bit, was walking around, finally get to Baldur's Gate, you see Damon and Karlach's in your group, and Damon says, like, you know, to you and your tabs, like, are you two a thing? And Karlach, nah. I'm like, well, I know I'm with Lae'zel, and I've been
I believe the line was, ew, no. Ugh.
So rude. I mean, and I had a couple tadpoles, so...
I love that you expect the barbarian to be subtle about things.
So for me, a personal moment of resonance was the fact that I could be gendered correctly throughout the entire playthrough of the game. It was the first time I ever experienced that, and there have been other games since, but this was that first moment of like the entire playthrough, nobody got my pronouns wrong. And that was huge. And like that, when the first time it happened, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it kept happening. And I was like, oh, this means something. And that was really important for me. So not as, you know, with the character, and I mean, I loved all their stories and there were incredible moments, but overall for the game, that was what hit the hardest, was I could be myself in this game. So.
But that goes back to what I was saying, like you get a job, we don't know if it's going to be cool or not, and then we get to the pronoun bit and we're doing the pronoun thing, and I'm going, oh, this is a cool game, I'm in. Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
I feel really good about myself now. Yeah,
and it was just really special, and again, it wasn't something you were
I could be
asked
wrong,
about
but I thought I heard that it was like they went back and had to add that part. No, kind of?
Dude, it took like I know Neil Newbon's been saying it took a lot of money. It took 5 minutes. It did not, because you do.
I appreciated
yeah,
that.
no, because it isn't very often in the game
Yeah.
we address you with pronouns, right? But when we did, then of course we had they, them in there.
Yeah.
But of course I came in the last year, so it was already baked into it for me. So every time I was like, look at you. Look at us.
Look at us.
Yeah, I was carrying that with me the whole time. That was Karlach. She's PTSD. There we go. I've said it.
Yep.
And that was in the audition, and I knew that's who she was, and she was going to do everything in her power to make sure you didn't know that's who she was. And just Sarah Bayless's writing was immaculate, and I have all sorts of folks that come up to the con table. Of course, everyone has a different experience, but from trans women to people with PTSD to people with chronic and terminal illnesses who feel comforted by this character, I think, wow, what a gift to have had that, and what a testament to the writing. That's it. That's the statement.
Yeah.
So, like, much like Taru, I don't think it was any one given moment because, I mean, let's be honest, this entire thing is a delight. It was more about the fact that I know very early when I picked it up, please do not lynch me, I told Tanya, like, I'm not sure I can romance any of these people. Like, everyone has so much wrong with them. And
there is the ethical argument to be made.
It was like, it seems like everybody really needs a friend, but the thing was that was a feature, not a bug. And so, like, if you ever get to know me or talk to me after this panel, I love monster stories. I love the idea about talking about, like, the myth and the folklore behind, like, why do we talk about monsters and why do we talk about myths? And so all of these characters are cursed in these really unique and interesting ways, and it's not just a random choice. It's very much because, like, this is showing an aspect of what they need to do or get over. And so there was I think a moment either end of Act 1 or beginning of Act 2 where I realized all of these people are tragically going to self-destruct if I, playing as a neutral, good, sometimes a little bit chaotic tab, don't intervene in some way, and just kind of realizing, like, oh, I need to help them. They aren't.
You can fix them, it's true.
I can fix them, yeah.
All of them.
All of them.
And because that's so different from how I play D&D, I like letting the party decide kind of what manifests, and I sort of like playing off of them in that way, and this was very much a, if I say yes to what everybody wants, this is going to be a very bad Faerun.
Yeah. And I think that was in the writing, that the idea of giving traumatized people what they want or what they say they want might not be the best thing for them.
Yeah.
And I think that ran through all the origin characters.
Absolutely, because there's so much of a, like, are we worth it? Do we deserve good things? And you as Tav can either, you as a dirge can say, like, you don't deserve good things, let's go, baby. Or you can say, like, yes, like, let me slowly help you out of this trauma, and it's going to be uncomfy, and see where it goes.
And sometimes it's just not even helping, it's just like a modicum of empathy, which to me, it's like just a little bit of empathy can help each one of them. You don't have to solve all their problems, but you can make at least the camp a little bit more comfortable for everyone. Yeah.
That's the Bard way.
I love it.
All right, so now to the fun bits. Romance and shagging.
And shocking!
Oh!
And I'm just going
you just went for it there. There's no double entendre. It's straight to the action.
Not,
we got
you've known
now?
me long enough.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to say this now. These are all my
I'm glad the bear's
screenshots.
there. You represented the bear very well.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
These are all of my screenshots. I have no shame.
Neither does anyone else in this room. We're in good company.
So if you go back and watch the last panel from Hell in Belgium, I'm in that video of them showing the bear moment
Yes, you are.
with that bronze girl who's also here, and you can see both of us having an absolute moment about it. So also they
Yeah, it
got
was a surprise for me as well. And Dave, I believe.
Oh yeah, everyone in that room was shocked, and then they got banned off TikTok Live. That was hilarious. So enjoy the eye candy for a moment, but I do want to talk about romances and shagging because it is a mature game. This panel is also rated 17+, so if there's any more small humans in here, someone cover their ears if they are in this room. What?
Yeah, there is a halfling on the front row. They're so small. They're also very lucky. We should touch the halfling before we go. Very lucky. They wouldn't bring a child here. They wouldn't bring a child here. That'd be crazy.
So again, in the interest of time, let's try to keep our answers a little briefer. But A, did you romance anyone? Or conversely, if you didn't romance anyone, why? And if we have time, I want to talk a little bit about poly because this is the first game I've ever seen poly done well. So, someone start talking, or I will assign you. All right, no one's talking.
Okay, I stayed in character when I played as Karlak, and I just have whoever would have me. Everyone is hot, and we're all pan, so come on.
Yeah.
If people would go like, who are you romancing? I was like, I don't know. I don't know if they like me or not. Surely it's up to them. This idea you go in going, no, that's not life. Let's just see what happens. And she's pretty cool, apparently, so they were up for it.
Yeah, but also for value of romance, is what we get to do in the game actually romance, or is this just kind of going along until you have the, oh, my heart grew 3 sizes moment? Because not everyone knows what love actually is in this game. So.
That's a good point. I think that for me, it was meeting Missoura from my Dark Urge. He was like, hey, if I'm going to go evil, I'm just going to go all the way. And I was expecting maybe a little bit more, but she wanted what she wanted, and I was a little bit brokenhearted at the end of it. I'm like, that was spicy, Missoura, but another night? No? Okay. It's not going to happen. But yeah, it was Lae'zel. Really, I can't get away from Lae'zel. Really, I have a Lae'zel problem. But also, Halsin. Can we talk about Halsin?
We're ready to talk about Halsin. Let's do it.
Halsin makes you feel things, and
Oak Father, preserve us.
What?
You are not
Father,
alone.
preserve us.
Smoldering. Before even any of the romance text comes through, he's looking at you. So, yeah, good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can tell who my favorite is because I unfortunately have a problem with dark-haired women who are going to be mean to me.
So Shadowheart was immediately, I was like, okay.
Hi, I want you. And then, as I said before, I messed that up entirely. So I started a new playthrough, and I finally successfully romanced Shadowheart. But another game that I did, I went for Dami Mami Drow, and I feel great about that.
As you should.
again, women who are mean to me and really hot, apparently, but I wasn't complaining.
As previously mentioned, I slept with everybody I could in my first run through. And it was great because I was with Carlac, but it was before her heart situation got figured out. So she was like, cool, go with Halson, have fun, you have my blessing. And then later we're like, okay, this is our thing. We're gonna be together as an exclusive item, which was really cool. I did also taste the forbidden calamari. And so.
Yeah. We all know about that, and we talk about it in camp.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, that's, life choices were made. But I liked that you could romance, or at least try out a romance, because I initially had started romancing Lae'zel, and then she was like, let's fight. And I was like, that's hot, but also not the vibe I'm going for right now, so let's take a step back, please. So.
So, I mean, I've done my my finished run, my OG Tav with the Gale run, and that was very much I definitely didn't think I was gonna romance anybody, because for a while I was like, oh no, they all need waffles and therapy. But then when I started doing my second playthrough, and I know Tanya and I had talked about I don't know, Lae'zel, should you save her? And there was definitely a moment of, oh, all of the smart characters, oh no. Okay, every time someone's gonna lecture me a little bit about something, and we're gonna have these great conversations about oh, did you know all of this about my culture? I was like, no, please, go ahead, let's go. But Source of My Bruises, that's just a dagger through the heart kind of line. It's phenomenal.
For me, for romance, my dirge was a dirty liar, because this also ties into the polyamory. So for those of you that want to try to have Halson and your Baron eat it too, you have to have a conversation with your current partner. I kind of sort of told a little lie that I had talked to Gale, but I really didn't.
Oh. The censor in the room, they're shocked.
Wow, no one's gonna...
This is the one playthrough we didn't envision.
Right?
Did he take that explosively?
What?
Did he take that explosively?
And game over.
Yeah.
Boom.
Leave. But so here's the thing, and I will try to be quick. If you are romancing an origin character as a Tav, and you try to have polyamory with some characters, and especially in Gale's case, Gale's like, no, I'm not sharing you. What are you, a loaf of bread? And I'm like, okay, bro, calm down. But if you're playing as an origin character, you can do some poly. But so I reloaded, went back, just kind of sort of forgot to talk to Gale, and came back to Halson like, yeah, he's cool with it. And I also kind of sort of was romancing Astarion, so I had a triad going.
Nice.
Yeah.
At that point, Astarion's just grateful for the attention, isn't he?
Yeah. Although it was interesting, because he was now, one thing I will say, and this is a credit to the writers, when you go talk to Astarion, he's like, is this because we're not having sex? I have never experienced that in a game before. And so I was like, oh, y'all did research. But there's this moment, because we all know somebody IRL that does not have those kind of conversations and is miserable. So for a game to actually have that very real relationship moment, and you have options, you can be an asshole about it or you cannot. I just appreciated that, especially as someone who is a games writer myself. So any other poly thoughts before I have a fun slide. We're not going to discuss it. I just have a fun slide coming up next.
The only yes and I have on that is I think there was such a remarkable choice made in that all of the main all of the characters are pan in terms of our core cast, but it doesn't mean that they are poly, and that was so intentionally done because it's really showing the respect for the breadth and the depth of experience you can have with people from a romantic and a sexual standpoint. And it upset a lot of players and it created a lot of mods, but I think it was the right call every single day.
Yeah.
I will die on that hill.
Yeah, they've got to have their own preferences, right? Or what's the point of any of this? I was actually going to push it the other way and talk about our ace players, because we would have unfriendly, platonic, romance. So you're thinking those are the three categories, and that what I didn't think was ace. And so people are coming back to me saying I felt represented in this whole thing. And I thought, oh, well done, the writers. Don't know if it was intentional or not, but I think it's worth mentioning that they they just covered everything. It's something else.
Don't have to romance anyone,
Right.
and the game does not punish you for that.
No, it really doesn't punish you for that. And
With the exception of Withers.
Yeah.
yeah, but Withers,
Judges you so
you
much.
can't romance Withers, right?
No, he literally
No.
you don't hang out with anybody? What's wrong with you?
That's why I went for Housen in my first cursed playthrough, because it was making me feel like self-conscious.
Yeah, and then he'll diss you for that as well. And you're like, stop fucking with me, okay?
So speaking of Withers,
Oh no. Who here hasn't romanced Withers?
Oh, I thought it was about to be Withers Big Naturals.
Withers is somewhere in this. It took me literally 30 minutes to fit everyone on this slide. And there are still characters that we did not get to. Also, for some reason, the credit on this is not here because there's also too many photos on here. But I go online, I see you. I see all of you. This is just a fun slide.
Gortash is on there, that's no fun.
look, I didn't say it was my personal taste. I read the fanfic.
Okay.
Look,
I mean, you're not alone in that. I am aware of the internet.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen people online, and I've just, you know, when you just close the tab and you're done for the day. Some of you need Jesus.
All right, so we are a little behind. So for those of us, I mean, and obviously Sam. So of the party, is there anyone who evokes particularly strong feelings that we have not talked about? And the next slide is the optional characters that are not just by default part of your group. Because, well, we know how Bria feels.
Sorry, what's the question?
Like anybody, their feelings you have that maybe we haven't talked about.
Oh, you know, like, I'm gonna get some hate on this, but Gale, just the economy of having Gale in your party at the start of the game, I'm like,
That poor
'cause,
guy.
my magic items, dude, really? Ah, come on, man.
That sounds like a skill issue. You're not finding good enough magic items, you just throw a couple away?
No, I'm a hoarder. So those are my magic items. I found those items. Go find your own items. So go back to camp and maybe go adventure on your own. Apparently, you know. No, Gale is the one. I like Gale, very funny. Also, very, very sensitive guy.
You can say needy. We're with friends here.
But he can't have my stuff. So sorry, Gale.
For me, it's Will. You know, in addition to Karlach, because for me, I get to see a black character that is fully realized. And he's such a Prince Charming. He's so sweet. He's also really naive in some ways of the world. But this is also someone who got kicked out from home at 17 and has had to literally make a deal with the devil. Well, nope, that's Raphael. That's a different character. But Will, for me, was a lot and made me very happy as a well-done character. And we get a black character in the party, and it's not about him being black, because it's also D&D that doesn't deal with race, but that's another panel. So yeah, and also I've gotten to know Theo, so it's like very cool to be able to talk about the character with the person who acted the character, and same with you. Any other strong feelings on our main party or
Something I think that was
recruitable party? What?
Oh, well, I was just going to say something I thought that was really powerful, and we may talk about this slightly in another panel later, but the post-pandemic feeling of how much Karlach wanting to just get a hug resonates in the moment that we were all in of like, I can get a hug, and just feeling that viscerally and remembering that moment, thinking about like how long has it been since I've been around people and how much I wanted that. That was a really surprising moment. I didn't expect that at all, but it was just so human. So.
I'm going to petition for playing as Origin Karlach and romancing Will. As we've said, the characters have their preferences, and she says she owes him a lot. And if she was in his shoes, she wouldn't have done the same. And then there's a really interesting relationship there to be explored. If you're playing good, if you're playing evil, then obviously minty. But if you're playing good, like check out the Will romance. It's really cool.
Right, speaking of evil. Oh, and again,
You didn't put my evil ending in there? Or I chewed the scenery?
Just a bit. These are all my screenshots. Yes, I have no shame. But there's a game that it's.
Alfear is in.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Well,
in the middle. I
so
feel that she doesn't get to be evil.
no, she kind of
But
doesn't.
you get to be evil.
I get to be evil, and maybe Alfira just goes to the great loot in the sky. I don't know. But I just want to talk about for a moment. The game lets us be evil. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make the child cry. I don't remember or don't encounter a lot of games that let you be evil. Yes, there's a consequence, but I can just be full-on evil, murderous, and run with it. Because for those of us who play D&D, most people don't want evil at their table. No. So, are there any quick thoughts about being evil?
Oh, just to follow on that, is that all the good people leave. You have fewer allies, a bit like Mass Effect 3.
Yes.
If you play it as a certain president of the US, you find that you have no allies and you can't win the game, which I felt, maybe he should have played it. But
you're right.
But, that's the thing, and I remember that as a state going, okay, so Karlach's leaving the party, and they were like, yeah, and Will leave, and Halcyon will leave, but those bitches are gonna stay. Okay.
And
they're cool.
Gail has to think about it.
Gail has to think about it.
Yeah. But I just love the fact it's like, oh, I want to be evil. Cool, I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
That level of evil, the range of evil you could be, that there was the lack of boundaries scared me. So I couldn't be evil. I tried, and I was like, no.
Don't you just love that in a video game? Like, we've all played GTA.
I don't.
And you can, all right, we've all played GTA, just agree with me. Yes, good, yeah.
I can't.
And we all know what our release dates are for next year. But the point is, you can be a little shit and you don't really think about it. It's fun, and in Baldur's Gate, it really got to people.
So I had 13 years of Catholic education.
So do I, babe. So do I.
I still
We're
have
both
guilt,
escaped Catholics. We've established that. Yeah.
It took me 3 tries on my first dirge to get to the end of Act 1 because I couldn't get myself to fully commit to being evil, and then I finally abandoned that particular run because I don't want to be mean to them.
I know we've talked about how hard it is to be bad when there's performances and they're crying and they're bawling their eyes. And they're like, why would you do this? I believed in you. I can't play. I can't not play a good guy. It's too far from what I want to be. But having that said, knowing that there are evil options gives those choices value because there's that awareness that I'm not just walking a path that was made because this is what I have to do. I'm making active choices, just like being a dirge. You make lots of active, interesting choices. And so, even if it is just being a warm little cinnamon roll, it has a little bit of value.
Yeah, the only evil I managed to do was a redeemed dirge run, and that was hard because there are some moments where there are things taken out of your control, and I liked that, and I also hated it in equal measures. So I can't go full evil, but I do love that it is present because it kind of ties back to my love of some other things where it's the superheroes are the ones that have every chance and every choice to be evil, and they choose to be good instead. And so this makes your choice to be good all that more valuable because you can just go full evil.
I must say, not to blow my own trumpet, but I was very good at being evil, it turns out. Very proud of myself. I can't normally do that, but I had Astarion and Lae'zel and Shadowheart, and they were up for anything. I was like, I'm just going to get rid of you when you're no longer useful. So, yeah, that's going to be a thing. It's very natural. I should be quite worried, shouldn't I?
All right, so in the interest of time, question, do you all want to talk about the last discussion point, which is kind of our hopes and dreams if we ever get another Baldur's Gate, or do we want to take audience Q&A?
Good.
Okay, somebody make a decision.
I have a single lore note, but if nobody else has some, then I will burn it. It's totally fine.
Questions are fun. I don't know.
All right,
let's see what happens.
No one else said
the
anything.
chaos of a BG3 audience.
I mean, my handle is
It's not to be
ChaosBria.
undervalued. We should do it. That's all.
And Judgy Susie, who was
And she is judging you.
Yeah.
And she is a dog, and I know you like dogs.
All right, so we have 6 minutes left. In the interest of time, we have a few people just
Quick
in
fire.
this middle section, and we will get through as many as we can.
Oh, and there's one there too. You
Yeah,
can fight over who gets which. Just take one from each side, eh?
Yeah, I said that one, but fine, it works.
As long as they work.
All right, goodbye, have a good night. All right, so you were there and have a question.
Yes. It's a statement and a question, but it won't take very long. I have it written down. First of all, Sam Karlak is my favorite character in the game, and all I want to do is snuggle her for hours at a time. My question for the whole panel is, during your playthroughs, what was a moment that stood out for you as incredibly satisfying?
Satisfying.
What was the moment that stood out as incredibly satisfying?
So I held on to the iron flask. I don't know why I felt it was important, and I opened it up in Granny Ethel's hut the first time I met her. Did it work? No, it was incredibly satisfying.
This is a spoiler for the end for like Act 2, sorry, but like convincing Shadowheart to do the right thing, like for me was I really, really felt emotional about that one.
Yeah. Honestly, any of the end moments with the origin characters when you've taken their story to completion and being able to see what change you've been able to bring about in them.
I've got goosebumps.
For me, it was killing Gortash.
You're not just saying that because I'm here, right?
No,
Okay.
legit, because I was like, you scummy bastard.
Right, thank you. It seems like a minority view.
All right.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, I'm actually a teacher, and I've actually been using Baldur's Gate as part of like social emotional learning. So as someone who's been a part of the project or a writer, just any unique experiences with empathy, what do you think?
I just missed the end of that. What are our experiences?
As someone who's been in the game or playing the game, a little bit of both, what does empathy mean to you as I being the character experiencing Baldur's Gate 3?
Would you mean the feedback that we get from people?
Anything.
We've had, at the table we have 3 generations of people that have played this together. You go, oh, who romances who? This must be awkward. But you have people that have never played a game before, and you think, really? This is the first one you pick up, which again, testament to the writing. You get people who then go and play TTRPGs because of that, and I think it's hopefully it sticks, and it's not just something entertaining that happens in another land. Hopefully people examine their own personal codes of conduct and the way they behave. So I think it's an interesting examination of the way to live as well. I think it's in there.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
This question's for everyone. What are your thoughts on Larian's exploration of the idea, concept of masking, not just with Karlak pre and post emotional breakdown, but basically with all the other party members when you think about it?
Masking.
Does anyone have an answer?
I've already answered the last
Yeah,
one.
I think it really resonates because I think all of us wear a mask at some point or another in our lives. And a lot of us have a lot of issues in the brain parts that make us mask in ways that maybe aren't comfortable or fun for us. And this game allows you to experience characters unmasking, finding out who they are, and allowing you to have that catharsis yourself in those moments. So I think it makes it resonate on a human level.
They often talk about the agency side, and I think there's just that little bit of, every single one of these characters thinks they need to destroy themselves to reach an unobtainable goal, and that's like particularly resonant, I think.
Hello, this one's for all of you guys. Out of all the characters included in the game, which 3 do you think would be in Karlak's dream rotation?
Please. In her team, like who would she take with her? You've got to balance it up. You've got to fight her. It's unfortunate because I love Lae'zel, but people choose between Karlak and Lae'zel. I think they've got good banter.
Will?
Yeah, Will's in there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Lae'zel. Did you guys guess that one? Lae'zel?
You're romancing Lae'zel, yeah. Sometimes you need a lockpicker, a Starian.
I'll up my decks and pick my own locks.
Sweet, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks all for being here today. I asked this question earlier in a panel about marginalization in video games, so I'm kind of excited to get your guys' perspective on it too. In the subject of how the Tiefling fantasy racism was handled, do you think it was done well? Do you think they handled it sensitively, tactfully, and how that lived experience might affect players or people who are watching? Because
So
I
you're
got
asking
different
if
answers.
fantasy racism was handled well in the game?
Do you think it's written well? Do you think
Oh,
it's
specifically Tieflings?
Yeah.
I don't, but also I'm an old-time D&D player because you can talk shit to Zevlor within 30 seconds of meeting him, and there's an option to say that, your people should have stayed in hell.
but also it's how are you playing your tab or how are you playing your origin character. I think it was done well for a non-diverse studio, but there's always things that can improve. If we want to have a real conversation, let's talk about how the drow are treated. That's a whole other thing, because I played a drow my first run.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? All right.
Thank you.
I mean, just as Karlak, like, she was big.
Yeah.
No one's going to mess with her.
True.
I felt like people held back. Because obviously I only recorded my bits, and then I played it like as a regular Tiefling. I played it as Karlak, and they were quite different.
Oh, yeah. There are many. There's a big
So I can't really
tumble
answer from Karlak, because I feel that she has some sort of tool privilege.
She has NPC privilege.
She has barbarian privilege.
Yes. All right, you are our last question. Please go ahead.
Oh, sweet, go me. Well, first of all, thank you all for coming here. And my question for you guys, so with the patch, we all know that they have new like subclasses, new features, but you know, they can't add everything to the game. Is there a class, subclass, or race that you wish that they would have added to the game, and which is it?
Is there a class or subclass we wish it would have added?
They haven't got Artificer, have they? There's no Artificer. No. Let's have that.
Oh,
there
yeah.
we go.
If we're talking races, was like the bird one, the Aarakocra? I want to be a bird person.
I want Tabaxi to bring the cat people in. For God's sake.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure Skyrim would be cool with it. We don't say
God.
Skyrim here.
I want my turtle monk, so.
This is probably like the default non-binary person answer, but where are our changelings?
They're in my heart.
You get one.
Change it. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
I would like Blood Hunter because I played a Blood Hunter and I want that back. But we find so many things without blood. It wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
All right. That is exactly time. So thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you.
And we're going to quickly do a little self-promo of anything else we're doing at the con, because there are 2 more days left of PAX.
Oh, yeah.
So just quickly for me, tomorrow at 6:30, back in this room, we're going to have a similar panel, but about Dragon Age the Veilguard.
Yeah.
And then at 2 o'clock tomorrow, I'm on a panel about LGBTQIA romances and TTRPGs. And then, Sam, what else?
Yeah, so on Sunday we're doing romance and intimacy in games. What a surprise. Where we've been and where we are now. And that'll be in the Condor Theatre at 1:30. So please come.
Did you already say Veilguard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got nothing.
So you're doing Veilguard too?
Yes, I'm also on the Dragon Age Veilguard panel.
Dragon Age. Yeah. Most of us will be back for Dragon Age.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.